Good evening from Madison Square Garden. We're here to bring you play-by-play coverage of the game between the world champion New York Knicks and the Buffalo Braves. Tonight's game is brought to you by Schaefer, the one beer to have when you're having more than one. We'll be covering the Knicks home games as they drive for another world championship, and we hope to have you with us. This is Joe Hansen with Frank Messer at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks working out to our right. The Buffalo Braves to our left in the light blue, Columbia blue with white letters. This is the second of 8 games that these teams will play this year. 4 at Buffalo, 4 at New York. This is the second of 4 here at New York. The first game was played October the 16th, and the Knicks won that one 117-91. That was the highest Knicks total in points so far this year. The game in which Meminger got 27 points for a career high, and the Knicks got 35 points in the fourth quarter. That's a high this season. Of the 18 games that have been played between these teams, New York has won 14 and lost 4. They have won 6 straight. Here in the Garden, of the 10 games that have been played, the Knicks have won 10 of them. We'll have the starting lineups in just 60 seconds.
This is Bishop McGovero of the Diocese of Brooklyn. In its short history, the Campaign for Human Development has made an impact on the lives of thousands of our poor. Through its grants to community self-help projects, the campaign has trained them for jobs that will move them closer to the economic mainstream. It has enabled them to work for better housing conditions. It has enhanced their potential by helping them to learn new educational skills. In short, it has proved to the needy across the nation that the campaign will assist them as they work toward a better tomorrow. The Campaign for Human Development's 4th annual appeal is set for November 18th. We pray that you will remember the poor on that day. For God's sake, dare to break the hellish circle of poverty.
Back in Madison Square Garden for the Buffalo Braves at a forward position, Jim McMillan, 25 years old, 6'5", 220 pounds from Columbia, averaging 21 points a game. At the other forward, Gar Hurd, 25 years old, 6'6", 226 from Oklahoma, averaging 15 points a game. At center, Bob McAdoo, 22 years old, 6'10", 210 pounds from North Carolina, averaging 28 points a game. He is second in the league. At a guard position, Randy Smith, 24 years old, 6'3", 180 from Buffalo State, averaging 12 points a game. And at the other guard position, Ernie DiGregorio, 22 years old, 6 feet, 180 from Providence, averaging 17 points a game. Buffalo offensively scores 109 points, gives up 114, a minus of 5. For the New York Knickerbockers, at a forward position, Dave DeBuscher. DeBuscher's 32 years old, 6'6", 235 from Detroit, averaging 20 points a game. At the other forward, Bill Bradley, 30 years old, 6'5", 205 pounds from Princeton. And Bill, as we said, averaging 12 points a game. At center, we expect it'll be John Gianelli, 23 years old, 6'10", 230 pounds from Pacific, averaging 2 points a game. At a guard position, Dean Meminger. Meminger, 25, 6'1", 175 from Marquette, 11 points a game. And at the other guard position, it'll be Walt Frazier, 28 years old, 6'4", 205 from Southern Illinois, averaging 21 points a game. The Knicks offensively, 96 points. Defensively, 96 points. Actually, there is 0.7 of a point difference in their favor offensively. The lineups are as we gave them to you. The tap will be coming up after this from Schaefer.
Just in case you've wondered why Schaefer is the more than one beer beer, just plain more experience is part of it. It takes experience to make any beer, but it's taken 2 centuries of brewing experience to make Schaefer. You see, more experience helps give Schaefer that special something more, that smooth, mellow flavor that keeps coming on beer after frosty beer. More experience is one reason, but of course there's more than one reason behind the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
The Knicks down to their third-string center, John Gianelli, who needs the playing time. Willis Reed is still on the bench. They hope to have him back in action against Milwaukee on Saturday night. Jerry Lucas is in Roosevelt Hospital. He has a back problem. And so the Knicks will have to depend on Gianelli and Phil Jackson. And possibly on Wingo. Also on Wingo. So one thing it does do is it gives the reserves an opportunity to play, but the Knicks are actually down to 10 men, and again, they are awaiting the return sometime, hopefully early next month, of Earl Monroe.
Thank you very much, Joe Hassel. Good evening, everybody. John Gianelli goes up against Bob McAdoo to get this game underway. The officials tonight are Lee Jones and Don Murphy. Murphy tosses the ball and is tapped over to the Buffalo Braves, and Ernie DiGregorio brings the ball on the forecourt, picked up by Meminger on the right-hand side, breaks the dribble outside, works the ball on the left to Gar Hurd. Hurd takes it 16-footer in and out, no good, and Bradley taps the rebound to Meminger, and Meminger brings the ball down. The Knicks on offense left to right. Now to Frazier. Frazier picked up by Randy Smith, immediately crosses the 10-second line. Bounce pass to Bradley, bringing it on the near side to the Busher in the right-hand corner to Meminger. Meminger goes in on DiGregorio, hands off now to Bradley. Bradley shoots and hits. Bill Bradley hits from 18 feet, and the Knicks take the lead 2-0. Took 30 seconds to get the first score on the board. Here's DiGregorio, Ernie D, passing on the right-hand side to Gar Hurd. Now back. Underneath, the ball goes to Randy Smith. Back to Hurd. Hurd cannot shoot. Passes back to Randy Smith for an open shot and swish. It's tied 2-2. Randy Smith averaging 12 points per game. And now Meminger brings it down for the Knicks as they work the ball slowly. Ernie D comes out to meet him at midcourt. Bounce pass to Bradley on the right side into the corner to the Busher on the right side. He shoots off the back rim, no good. And going high, McAdoo takes the rebound away from Gianelli. Gives the ball to Randy Smith. Fast break. Smith down quickly. Passes back and he travels. He is pass intended for Ernie D, intercepted by Meminger, but he travels, so the Knicks have the ball anyway. And it will be Meminger passing it in from the far sideline. Smith and Ernie D in back court, trying to pick the Knicks up there. And now Meminger has the ball slapped away, but gets it back. Randy Smith is on him tightly. He gets into forecourt with it. Bounce pass on the right side to the Busher. The Busher guarded by Gar Hurd. Worked the ball underneath to Gianelli, intercepted by McAdoo. And passed the ball off to Ernie D. Back to McAdoo. McAdoo shoots it. He's short. And the Busher grabs it out of the air for the Knicks. Fast pass on the left side of Bradley. Bradley charges down. Bounce pass on the near side to the Busher. The Busher to Meminger. Meminger can't shoot to Frazier. Behind the back pass to Meminger. He goes in on Ernie D and scores. Dean Meminger scores. It's 4-2 the Knicks. Dino moving in on Ernie DiGregorio. Beautiful pass to him from Frazier to set it up. Randy Smith brings the ball down for the Buffalo Braves. On the right side, the ball is handed by Big Jim McMillan. Now to Gar Hurd in a high post. Hurd gives the ball now to Randy Smith. He takes the jumper from the circle, swish, and it's tied at 4. Randy Smith hits again. He has both buckets for the Braves. Braves have never beaten the Knicks here at Madison Square Garden. On the left side, Bradley handles it, gets it into Gianelli on a low post, guarded by McAdoo. Gianelli bounces it once, gives it to Frazier. Frazier shoots it out, no good. McAdoo on the rebound. McAdoo is averaging 15 rebounds per game, one of the leaders in the NBA. Ernie D on the right-hand side. Gar Hurd gets it back, does Ernie D. Picked up by Meminger. Now a screen set up by McAdoo. Or a pick. He does not shoot. He passes instead underneath to McAdoo, 2. Bob McAdoo got away from John Gianelli for 2, and it's 6-4 Buffalo. Meminger brings it down. We have 9:15 left to go in the first period. Meminger guarded by Ernie D. Two little men, but both of them know what they're doing down there, and they can hold their own. Now the pass intended for Bradley. He loses the ball. Ernie D picks it up. Buffalo has it. And the Knicks are guilty of another turnover. Down the right side, Ernie D goes into the circles, trying to dance around Meminger, passes off to McAdoo. McAdoo off a pick by Ernie D, starts in, passes off to Randy Smith, and the whistle blows, and the foul is charged to Dean Meminger, his first personal foul. Meminger gets the foul, and McAdoo goes to the line.
They're working a pretty good mismatch down there. Di Gregorio is coming off Meminger, and Ginelli has to leave McAdoo, and the first thing you know, McAdoo is free under there. Meminger can't cover him at all, Frank.
That's certainly true, Joe Hassel, and the second shot, both of them are good by McAdoo at the line. And that man is averaging 28 points per game, one of the leaders in the league, both in scoring and in rebounding. Ginelli has the ball in the high post back of the circle. Got it by McAdoo, whips the ball underneath, it's tapped out of bounds, and last touch by Randy Smith of Buffalo. He tried to work it under to Walt Frazier, and Randy Smith tapped it out of bounds. The Knicks will pass it in under their offensive basket. In it comes to Ginelli. Back outside to DeBusschere. DeBusschere goes to the circle, breaks the dribble. Being guarded closely by Garherd. Tries to force his pass. It's intercepted by Randy Smith. Buffalo has it. Smith down. Passes back outside to Ernie D. On the right side it goes to Garherd. Hurried into the corner to McAdoo, and they lose the ball out of bounds. Knicks ball. Garherd and McAdoo could not handle the ball over on the right side. It was off McAdoo's hands. Garherd tried to save it. He may have touched it. The ball went out of bounds nonetheless. Here's Frazier down quickly, right-hand side of the circle, breaks the dribble, and now he gets it to Ginelli. Ginelli goes in on McAdoo, and he misses the shot, and it is rebounded by Ernie D. Gregorio down the right side of the forecourt for Buffalo. Into the corner he goes. Meminger sticking with him, and now he takes the shot. It is no good, and the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Dave DeBusschere. DeBusschere argues it, but Buffalo gets the ball. It looked from here as if DeBusschere touched it. He didn't think he did. Inbound from McAdoo to McMillan. McMillan shoots and scores. That is Jim McMillan's first shot, and he makes good on it. McMillan averaging 21 points per game. And Buffalo leads 10-4 with 7:50 on the clock. Bradley with the ball in the left-hand corner to Meminger, back outside to Bradley. Bradley being guarded right now by McAdoo. As they have switched off, he gets the ball to DeBusschere. DeBusschere shoots and scores from 22 feet. A long bomb by Dave DeBusschere. And it is 10-6 now. Buffalo by 4. Ernie D down into the right-hand corner. Passes, a blind pass to McAdoo. It's good. McAdoo goes up against Ginelli and scores. Ernie D did not even look where he was passing that ball. He knew McAdoo would be there. At least he hoped so. And McAdoo was and got 2. Now on the left side, it's Meminger. Ernie D tight to him. A pick set up by Ginelli. Into the corner goes Meminger. Back outside to DeBusschere on the right side to Frazier. Frazier shoots, cannot bank it in, and McAdoo out-rebounds Ginelli again. McAdoo is 6'9". John Ginelli is 6'10", has a pinch on him, but McAdoo has the experience. McMillan shoots, he misses. Well, McAdoo doesn't have that much more experience than John either. Down court quickly comes Meminger, not in length of service. In the left-hand corner to DeBusschere, he shoots it, it's no good. This time, Ginelli gets the rebound, goes up with a shot, and he's fouled. McAdoo got him. McAdoo fouls Ginelli. Ginelli at the line when we come back. Right now, New York calls time with 6:48, and the score is Buffalo 12 and New York 6.
Cox's Stationery with 3 locations has more than you may think. In addition to business furniture and supplies, Cox's have everything from stocking stuffers to a bride's corner. Check Cox Stationery for convenient night shopping in 3 locations. River Street in Troy, open Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday nights. Remsen and Ontario Streets in Cohoes is open Friday night. And in the Latham Corner Shopping Center, Cox is open every night until 9. All Cox Stationery stores are open Saturdays 9 to 5:30 for your convenience. The Showboats of New Lebanon presents Fishbone Alley, Thursday through Sunday next week. Get into it this week with Fishbone Alley. Free admission Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And for $2 on Thursday night, you can have all the beer you can drink. At the Showboat starting next week, it's the first appearance of Centerpiece, formerly known as Scrabble. All at the Showboat in New Lebanon, just 35 minutes from downtown Albany, east on Route 20, now open 5 days a week.
Back at Madison Square Garden, we haven't gone halfway through the first quarter, and New York has given the ball away 3 times on bad passes right into the hands of Buffalo Braves players. McAdoo twice out-rebounding Ginelli and out-rebounding him badly, and shooting one chippy shot that Knicks couldn't hit on, so they're trailing by 6 points in this first quarter. They will inbound the ball. There'll be a foul shot. Ginelli foul shooting. Okay, Frank.
Right, Ginelli fouled in the act of shooting by McAdoo just before the timeout. Goes to the line. He eyes the basket. His first shot is in the air, and he is good. John Ginelli hits. And it is now 12-7. Ginelli shoots again, and his second shot is in and out, no good. And the ball is finally grabbed by Gar Hurd as he and DeBusschere battled for it. Hurd lost sight of it for a second, but he retrieved and got it. All right, Randy Smith handles the ball to Ernie D. Still in backcourt. Ernie D now steps it across the 10-second line. In the forecourt, picked up by Ginelli. He takes the shot. It is in and out, no good, and rebounded by Bradley. Knicks have it back to DeBusschere. DeBusschere right down the middle with it. Now swings over toward the left side and passes into the corner to Meminger. DeBusschere gets it back, holds it high, works it to Ginelli. Ginelli goes in on Gar Hurd. He shoots. It is true, but traveling, no basket. The basket is nullified by Ginelli's traveling. Red Holtzman on his feet in front of the Knicks bench, not too happy. Not at Ginelli, but at the officials. 12-7. The Knicks trail by 5. Just over 6 minutes left to go. We're nearing the halfway mark of the first quarter. Hurd gets the ball to McAdoo in a high post way outside. Ginelli goes out to meet him. Now the pass on the left side to Randy Smith. He dances in on Frazier. Takes the shot. It is in and out, no good. And Frazier rebounds 40 yards. Frazier dribbling left-handed against Randy Smith. Goes down the left side. Swings over to midcourt. Now it goes to the left side of the circle. Passes the ball off to Bradley on the weave. Bradley right side of the circle. He cannot shoot, although guarded by Randy Smith. Passes on the left side to DeBusschere. He shoots. It is no good, and the whistle blows. Meminger is knocked to the floor. Jim McMillan knocks Meminger down. Not intentionally, of course. And that is McMillan's first personal foul. And the second team foul to Buffalo. Meminger will pass the ball in and gets it into DeBusschere. DeBusschere behind the circle, dribbles to the right side, guarded by Gar Hurd, works the ball to Ginelli, takes an open shot, and it is no good. Ginelli battling for the rebound. Ginelli gets it. Ginelli took it away from Jim McMillan. He tries to get the ball to Meminger. It is tapped out of bounds. Last touch by Buffalo. Gar Hurd got his hand on it, so it's Knicks' ball to be passed in under their own offensive basket. Meminger to pass it in, gets it into Frazier. He spins away from Randy Smith. Drive, shoots, scores. Walt Frazier brings the Knicks back to within 3. 12-9, Buffalo leads. 5:20 to go in the period. And now Ernie D whips the ball at the right-hand corner to McMillan. McMillan puts a move on Bradley, shoots. It is good, and Bradley got it. Bradley fouled him. So McMillan will try for the three-point play. McMillan now has 4 points. That's Bradley's first personal foul, not the Knicks' second team foul. And McMillan goes to the line. McMillan has hit on 83% of his free throws. Ball is in the air. It is no good. DeBusschere rebounds for the Knicks. Score remains 14-9 with 5 to go. Frazier on the right side to DeBusschere. DeBusschere gives the ball back to Clyde. Clyde tries to spin on it. Randy Smith, he cannot. And now he works the ball to Ginelli. Ginelli underneath to Bradley, and Bradley scores. Beautiful pass from Ginelli to Bradley underneath, and Bradley gets 2. The Knicks trail by 3, 14-11. Less than 5 to go. 4:49 on the clock. Randy Smith with the ball outside. Whips it left to McMillan. McMillan holds the ball high. Can't get around Bradley. Works to McAdoo. McAdoo shoots over Ginelli off the back rim. No good. Rebound to DeBusschere. Next ball to Bradley down the left side. He comes in on Jim McMillan. Bradley all the way to the circle. Spins left down the left side of the lane. Comes back out. Gives to DeBusschere. DeBusschere tied up for a moment. Works it to Ginelli. Ginelli fakes McAdoo. Shoots and misses. Ginelli should have had that when he put a beautiful fake on McAdoo and then missed his chippy shot. Down the right side, Ernie D with the ball for the Buffalo Braves. Into the corner to Randy Smith. Smith comes out to the right side of the circle. Takes an 18-foot jumper. No good. Rebound to DeBusschere. And the Knicks have the ball back again. DeBusschere. Long strides down court on a fast break. Now breaks it off on the right side of the circle. Passes to Frazier. Frazier being guarded right now by Ernie D. Gets the ball to Bradley. Bradley shoots it good. Gets the front rim, then the glass, then it's carved in. And it's 14-13 with Buffalo calling timeout. 3:52 left to go in the first period. The score, Buffalo 14, New York 13. Now, let's listen to this from Schaefer.
case you've wondered why Schaefer is the more than one beer beer, just plain more experience is part of it. It takes experience to make any beer, but it's taken 2 centuries of brewing experience to make Schaefer. You see, more experience helps give Schaefer that special something more, that smooth, mellow flavor that keeps coming on beer after frosty beer. More experience is one reason, but of course there's more than one reason behind the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
Joe Hassel with Frank Messer at Madison Square Garden. 3:52 in the first quarter. New York down by 6, has moved to within 1. They trail 13-14. And it will be inbounded by Buffalo in front of their own bench. Frank?
All right, Randy Smith works it into Ernie D, and Ernie D brings the ball down the left side. Memencher's got him. Bounce pass to McMillan on the left side, guarded by Bradley. McMillan to McAdoo, guarded by Gianelli. McAdoo works it back to McMillan. McMillan fakes, goes up with a shot. He misses, and it's rebounded by Frazier. Clyde will bring the ball down the middle. Now passes right to Memenger in the forecourt. Memenger slowing play down. Finds DeBusschere on the right-hand side, guarded by Garherd. Passes off to Gianelli. McAdoo comes out to meet him outside. Now to Memenger. Memenger loses it, gets it back in the right-hand corner, and his foot hit the boundary line out of bounds, and Memenger turns the ball over. That was all set up when he lost the ball to start with. He retrieved the ball in the corner, but his foot slid across the boundary line, and the official, Lee Jones, was right there to see it. So Buffalo has it on the right-hand side. A jump shot is taken, and it is in and out no good by Garherd. DeBusschere rebounds, and they try to take the ball away from him, and DeBusschere is fouled in the backcourt. Garherd fouls DeBusschere in the backcourt, so Dave will go to the line. A backcourt foul. DeBusschere goes to the free throw line. DeBusschere has hit 88% of his free throws, and he's averaging 20 points per game. Frazier has a 21.5 point per game average to lead the Knicks, and DeBusschere just a breath behind him. DeBusschere shoots. It is no good off the back rim. He'll shoot again. Don Murphy passes the ball to him. Second shot in the air. It is good. So the score is tied 14-all with 3:08 left to go in the first period. And here comes Ernie D for the Buffalo Braves. Ernie D. Gregorio, out of Providence, a rookie and a very promising-looking young man. He whips the ball now to McMillan. McMillan gives it back and breaks. Ernie D has it on the right side. A big setup over there by McAdoo. Di Gregorio drives, tries to shoot over his head, and it's blocked by Gianelli. Beautiful block shot, but the Braves get it back as Randy Smith steals it, flips it down court, and goaltending. It is a bucket for Ernie Di Gregorio, goaltending charge to Gianelli. So it's 16-14 Buffalo. First, a beautiful block shot by Gianelli. Then Randy Smith stole the ball away from the Knicks, whipped it back down to Ernie D. And going back to block the shot again, Gianelli went above the rim. There's a collision on the floor, and Jim McMillan has fouled Dave DeBusschere, his second personal foul. McMillan has fouled DeBusschere. And DeBusschere will pass the ball in. 14 fouls now to the Braves. They are at the limit. Knicks have 2. We have 2:26 on the clock. Memenger has the ball spinning in around from Ernie D. Goes up with a shot, and goaltending charge to McAdoo. Goaltending by McAdoo, so credit Memenger with a bucket. And a foul charged on the play to Ernie Di Gregorio. So Memenger will go to the line to convert the three-point play. He has 2 chances to make one as the Braves are now over the limit, and he'll need the second chance. Joe Hassel, the Knicks are really off on the free throw shooting here in the first period. Second shot is good. So the Knicks take the lead 17-16 with 2:20 left to go in the first quarter. Randy Smith brings the ball down against Frazier. Gallops it into forecourt, breaks the dribble, bounce pass to Ernie D on the right side. He goes in for a right-hand layup. It's good. And the Braves take a point lead, 18-17. Ernie D with 4 points. High point man is McAdoo for Buffalo, and Bradley has 6 for the Knicks. McAdoo has 6 for the Braves. Here's Frazier beyond the circle, doesn't shoot, gives the ball instead to DeBusschere. 2 minutes to the left-hand corner to Bradley. Bradley shoots no good, and the rebound, Randy Smith. Whips the ball down court to Jim McMillan. McMillan, a bounce pass on the right side to Garfield Hurd. He shoots, he scores. And now it is 20-17, Buffalo by 3 with 1:45 left to go in the period. as Frazier brings the ball down court for New York. Picked up by Randy Smith. There has not been a substitution so far in the ball game. Frazier still with the ball, spins to the left side of the circle, flips it down to Ginelli. Ginelli shoots from the circle, in and out, no good. Garherd rebound, gives the ball to Randy Smith. Buffalo has it. Smith down court into forecourt on the left side of the lane, into the left-hand corner to McAdoo. McAdoo shoots over Ginelli. 2 more from McAdoo, and that makes it 22-17. Buffalo by 5. 1:20 left to go in the period. Frazier down into forecourt for the Knicks. Frazier guarded by Randy Smith. Puts his back to Smith. Tries to move toward the basket. Now whips down the right side of the lane. Comes back out again. Picked up now by McAdoo as they switch up, putting Randy Smith on Ginelli. Pass outside to the Busher. The Busher underneath to Ginelli. 2! John Ginelli, 22-19, 1 minute to go. There's another mismatch. Randy Smith trying to guard Ginelli. Randy Smith goes 6'3". Ginelli, as we told you, 6'10". Ernie D down against Meminger into the circle. He takes a jumper from the stripe. It is no good, and a lot of contact underneath. McAdoo comes off with it and scores. Bob McAdoo scores again, and McAdoo now has 10 points for the Buffalo Braves, who lead 24-19 with 36 seconds left to go in the period. Down into the corner goes Meminger. Picks that up by Ginelli. Meminger passes back to Frazier. Frazier goes to the baseline, fakes. Smith shoots and scores. 24-21. The Knicks down by 3 with 20 seconds left to go. And the Braves, of course, I think will shoot for the last shot or try for the last shot. Ernie D slows play down. The shooting clock is not in operation right now with 11 seconds and now 10 left to go in the period. They'll take the last shot. A pick set up by McAdoo. Gregorio passes to McAdoo. He shoots. He scores. Bob McAdoo, as the buzzer sounds, the period ends. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the first quarter here at Madison Square Garden. The score is Buffalo 26 and New York 21. Now, let's listen to this from Schaefer.
Autumn is out there waiting for you. So get a few fast friends together on a few fast bikes, then get out and share it. Wheel its bright autumn roads, feel its cool, crisp air rush by, and you'll discover what it's like to build an autumn thirst. A thirst cut out for a beer that's a cut above. A beer like Schaefer. Schaefer comes on crisp and bright as autumn, glass after golden glass. So share some Schaefer while you share the season. Schaefer, the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
Across the high Smoky Mountain, across the deep valley green, you're trailing the sun, yeah, you're trailing the sun to a thirst for more than one. Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
Let's pause for station identification. This is the Knicks Radio Network.
In the Capital District, this is the home of the New York Knicks. WABY, Albany.
Back at Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks are trailing by 5 points as we're ready to go into the second quarter. They led by 2 at the beginning of the game, trailed by as much as 6. I guess we should say they're not doing too badly in view of the fact that quite a few of their starters are out. Phil Jackson will be going in. He'll probably be going in place of Ginelli. That is the only change on the Knicks part at the moment, Frank.
Well, it looks like the Braves are the same as started the game, and it'll be Jackson jumping against McAdoo. Phil Jackson is 6'8", 220, 6-year veteran from North Dakota. All right, he'll jump McAdoo. Lee Jones taps the ball up, and neither one touch it going up. Jackson gets it after he comes back down, taps the ball to DeBuscher. DeBuscher now to Frazier. Frazier now to DeBuscher again. DeBuscher drives the left side of the lane. The layup is no good, and an offensive foul is charged to Dave DeBuscher, his first personal foul. Offensive foul on Davey D. Inbound from Di Gregorio to Randy Smith. Smith down against Frazier. Di Gregorio, Randy Smith in backcourt. Garherd, McAdoo, and McMillan, the big man. Give it to Ernie D. He drives, passes back on the left side to McMillan. He shoots. He does not score. Followed up by McAdoo. It is no good. Battle for the rebound. DeBuscher finally takes it away from Jim McMillan. Dave DeBuscher on the rebound. Fires a long one down court, intended for Jackson. He saves the ball from out of bounds. And let's see, the ball does go out, last touch by Meminger. Jackson saved it in the corner, batted it back in, and went off Meminger's hands. and out of bounds again. So Buffalo has it. Randy Smith on the inbounds pass from Ernie D. comes in on Frazier. He gives to Ernie DiGregorio, guarded by Meminger. He spins away, can't shoot, whips it on the right to Randy Smith, way outside. He does not shoot, gives to Ernie D, 22-footer. It is no good, and rebounded by DeBusschere. DeBusschere to Frazier. Frazier drives all the way down the circle, hits the lane, goes up, it is no good. And the ball goes out of bounds, whistle blows underneath, and it was last touched by the Buffalo Braves, Gar Hurd. DeBusschere will pass it in. On the sideline, Hawthorne Wingo is ready to check into the ball game. And Bill Bradley is charged with a foul before the ball can be passed in. Bill Bradley fouls before the ball comes in. Bradley's second personal foul. He goes out in favor of Hawthorne Wingo. Fans love Wingo. He has really attracted this Madison Square Garden crowd. All right, down the left side with the ball is McMillan. McMillan guarded by DeBusschere, whips it to Gar Hurd on a high post in the circle. Wingo on Hurd. Hurd tries to get away, fakes, goes up with a shot. It is no good, and rebounded by Jackson. Jackson whips it across to Frazier. The Knicks break 3-on-1. Back to Jackson. He scores. The Knicks broke 3 men on Ernie DiGregorio, and it's 26-23, Buffalo by 3, with 10:20 left to go in the first half. Ernie D in the right-hand corner, passes back outside of McAdoo. He shoots over Jackson off the front rim, no good. He gets it back, takes a jumper from closer in, no good. DeBusschere rebound. Knicks ball, down court to Clyde. Frazier on the left side of the circle, takes an 18-footer, switch to Rue. Clyde has 2. 26-25. We played 2 minutes worth of basketball here in the second quarter. The Knicks trail by a point. Ernie D spins down. He's all by himself. He shoots and he scores. They turned him loose and he scored 28-25.
He got away badly from Meminger that time, Frank.
All right, Joe. Down comes Frazier on the right-hand side. Frazier passes back outside of Meminger. Picked up Ernie D. Whips the ball left to Hawthorne Wingo and he scores. Wingo! That's his first field goal. And it is 28-27. The Braves 5-point. Ernie D sets up a play as he slows things down. And the play set up didn't work because he just passed the ball out of bounds. It'll be Knickerbocker's ball. They'll pass it in from under their defensive backboard. Meminger inbounds to the Frazier. Whatever play Ernie D set up didn't work because nobody broke to take his pass. Nobody broke, I should say. All right, to Jackson on a high post behind the circle. Guarded by McAdoo. Jackson tries to put a move on, goes left, comes back right, goes up with a shot. Switch to Rue, and he is fouled on the play. McAdoo fouled him. Jackson got the 2 points, and he will try to convert the 3-point play in a moment. Right now, though, timeout called by Buffalo with the score. The Knicks 29, the Braves 28. More Knicks basketball in just 60 seconds.
Mr. Businessman, have you a story to tell? Then do it on Wavy Old Gold.
Do it on a bus bench, do it on a matchbook, do it on the Late Late Show. But if you want to do it good, do it like you should, do it on the radio.
Get the facts on how your advertising dollar goes further on radio, and especially on WABY. Call Ted, Stan, or Jim any day from 9 to 5 at 459-2111. That's 459-2111.
On a napkin, do it on a billboard, any type of print blanco. If you gotta get it sent with your advertising friend, do it on the radio. Yeah, reach more people for a lot less dough. When you do it on the radio. WABY.
Back at Madison Square Garden, the next game on Saturday night is going to be quite something against the Milwaukee Bucks. The top team as far as wins are concerned in the league this year. And, of course, it'll be the great playmaker Oscar Robertson and Lou Alcindor, who learned his high school basketball here in New York City. So Phil Jackson will be going to the line, and Phil has made his presence known in there, Frank.
Yes, he certainly has. Jackson got his 2 points. Now he'll try to get the third and put the next 2 points out in front. Last time out was charged to the Braves. The foul on McAdoo was his second in the ball game, so Jackson at the line. He shoots. He does not score. It misses in and out, and McAdoo rebounds. Bob Kaufman has come in, replacing Gar Hurd for Buffalo. First substitution for the Braves. Bob Kaufman. We'll tell you more about him in a moment. Right now, Ernie D gets the ball to McAdoo outside to Kaufman, who has moved into the pivot spot, and they pass the ball back now to Ernie D. Ernie D, the left of the circle to Kaufman on the left side of the lane. Kaufman shoots. He scores. Bob Kaufman, who's averaging only 7 points a game. He's 6'8", 240. 27-year-olds from Guilford College. This is his 5th year in the NBA. Frazier with the ball, being guarded very, very, very closely by Randy Smith. Gets the ball to Meminger. Meminger to Jackson in the circle. Jackson an open shot, and he misses as Kaufman rebounds and whistle blows. Kaufman may have fouled to get to that ball. Loose ball foul to Bob Kaufman. That's what it is. Kaufman fouled to get the ball. 2 team fouls charged the Braves as Meminger will pass the ball in from the press table on the far side of the court. In it comes to Frazier. Randy Smith guarding Frazier. Frazier puts the move on, takes the jump shot from the right of the circle and hits. Clyde scores to make it 31-30, and the Knicks by a point with 8:20 left to go in the first half. All right, now down in the forecourt comes Randy Smith to Kaufman. Whistle blows. And there's a foul. Underneath charge to Walt Frazier. That is Clyde's first personal foul. And the Knicks' first team foul. Turns the ball over to Buffalo. McMillan passes it to Kaufman. Back to McMillan. McMillan drives underneath, goes up with a shot, and he scores. McMillan scores over to Butcher. And it's 32-31, the Braves by a point. And now Dean Meminger brings the ball straight down the middle for the Knicks. Passes left to Hawthorne Wingo. Now to Phil Jackson. Jackson dribbles once, twice, gives the ball to DeBusschere. DeBusschere puts a move on, can't shoot, passes to Jackson. Left-hand hook from the lane. It's good. Phil Jackson, a left-hand hook shot, makes it 33-32. Knicks by a point. Here comes Smith soloing down, passes to Kaufman on the right side. Kaufman shoots and scores. Jack Ramsey pushed the right button when he put Kaufman in. He's had 2 quick buckets. And it's 34-33 Buffalo. Hawthorne Wingo goes barreling into McAdoo, and Wingo will be charged with an offensive foul. Charging foul to Wingo. He just put his shoulder into McAdoo. Said, hey, get out of my way, Big Bob. You can't do that. McAdoo is set up, legal position. So Ernie D passes the ball into Randy Smith. 7:28 on the clock left to go in the first half as Buffalo has a 1-point lead at the ball. Ernie D outside, breaks the dribble, passes on the right side to Kaufman. Kaufman wants somebody to move, whips the ball across to McAdoo. He dribbles once, goes up with a shot, and scores. Bob McAdoo is second in the NBA in scoring. He already has 14 points in this game, working on an average of 28 points and 15 rebounds per game. Hawthorne Wingo on the right side, guarded now by McAdoo, flips the ball off to Frazier. Clyde shoots an 18-footer and hits. Walt Frazier makes it 36-35, Buffalo by 1. Ernie DiGregorio double dribbles, bringing the ball down, and he may not do that again all year. Ernie D, a fine ball handler, but he double dribbled, bringing the ball down, and gives it back over to the Knicks. They trail by a point, a chance to take the lead. Meminger in the forecourt. Dino sets up the play, whips it to Phil Jackson on the high post behind the circle. On the right side to Frazier. Frazier to DeBusschere. DeBusschere goes up with a shot and scores. DeBusschere beat McMillan on that one for 2, and the Knicks take the lead 37-36. 6.5 to go here in the second quarter. Ernie D on the right-hand side sets up the play for the Braves. Still outside with the ball. Now he drives down into the corner and passes behind his back to Kaufman. Kaufman shoots over Jackson and banks it in. Bob Kaufman has 3 quick buckets after coming into this ball game, and Buffalo leads 5 points. Meminger spins down, hands off to Jackson. Jackson drives underneath, and his shot is blocked by McAdoo. McAdoo not only blocked the shot, but slapped it back down off of Jackson and out of bounds. It's Buffalo's ball. Fine defensive play by McAdoo. Randy Smith drives down, whips the ball to McAdoo, and it's intercepted by Frazier. But Frazier loses the ball out of bounds. It's back to Buffalo. Randy Smith will pass the ball in. Gets it into Kaufman on the right-hand side of the circle. He spins, passes to DiGregorio behind the circle. Underneath to McMillan. McMillan scores. McMillan beating DeBusschere that time for 2. And Buffalo leads 40-37. Less than 6 minutes left to go here in the first half. Frazier moves the ball down against Randy Smith. Frazier on the left side with it. Frazier has played all the way in this game so far. Pick set up by Jackson. Pass the ball to Hawthorne Wingo. 22-footer is no good. Rebounded by Ernie D. Ernie DiGregorio down the right side for Buffalo. Guarded by Meminger and passes the ball out of bounds again. He was looking for McAdoo to break. McAdoo did not break, and the ball goes out of bounds. So it's Knicks ball, and a substitution made by Buffalo. The Knicks call time with 5:33 left to go in the first half. There's timeout for the score. Buffalo 40, New York 37, and here is Joe Hassel.
Our halftime guest is going to be Matt Winnick of the New York Mets, and our halftime guest get an Astra Instamatic camera, a gift from Getty, the company that gives you more tire for your money, featuring a steel-belted radial that gives you more traction and more safety. And our guests also get dinner for two at Frankie and Johnny's Steakhouse, where celebrities gather for the best steak in town. When you're in New York, go to Frankie and Johnny's in the heart of the Theater and Sports District, upstairs on West 45th Street and 8th Avenue. Bob McAdoo, really a fine ball player, just a good shooter, fine rebounder. You know he's in the game, good speed, good movement, switches very well, picks up players, tough man to handle. Jackson seems to be doing a little bit better with him than Ginelli does. Now, Bob Kaufman, who is in there now, however, is more of a physical threat. He's 6'8", he's about 232, 35 pounds. He looks like a kind of a, he really isn't, but he looks like a fat kid who's kind of breaking his jersey and pants, Frankie. He's so husky, Bob Kaufman, who's always been very difficult for the Knicks to handle. He's a tough man, and he's very physical in the game. All right, time will be in again. Let's see who's inbounding the ball. It will be inbounded, it looks like, Meminger on the left side will inbound to Walt Frazier. Okay, Frank.
Kenny Charles has come in for Buffalo for his first appearance, and Garherd is also back in. We'll run down the Buffalo lineup for you. Ernie D. and Kenny Charles in the backcourt now. Jackson has the ball for the Knicks. Got it by Kaufman, tries to work it underneath to DeBusschere. He can't handle it, and the ball is grabbed off by the Buffalo Braves. To Ernie D. Gregorio. Ernie D. moving on Meminger. Pick set up by Kaufman. Ernie D. Gregorio shoots from the left side, in and out, no good. He cannot get the ball back. Meminger grabs it away from him. Meminger down into forecourt for New York. To Frazier, behind the circle. Frazier now to Jackson on the left side. Kaufman on Jackson, left-hand hook, switch. Bill Jackson brings the Knicks within a point with 4:50 left to go. It's 40-39 Buffalo. Now Ernie D. on the right-hand side. Works the ball to Jim McMillan. McMillan to Kaufman. Guarded by Jackson. Back into the right-hand corner. The ball goes to... the ball went to Ernie D. Back outside to Kaufman. Kaufman shoots and scores. He has 8 points. Frazier now moving down against Ken Charles. Gets the ball to DeBusschere. DeBusschere now to Frazier on the right side. Walt shoots. It is off the back rim. No good. As they battle for the rebound underneath, the whistle blows. Loose ball foul. Charge to Hawthorne Wingo, his second personal foul. Dave DeBusschere goes down, and Bill Bradley comes back in for the New York Knickerbockers. Ernie D. passes the ball in to Kenny Charles, gets it back again, and Ernie D. brings the ball down into forecourt for the Buffalo Braves. He passes on the left side to Garherd, and a whistle blows, and an infraction against Buffalo. Offensive foul is charged to Bob Kaufman, his second personal foul. Meminger inbounds to the Frazier. Frazier gives it back, and Meminger brings it down against Ernie D. He tries to find Hawthorne Wingo, can't. The ball goes to the left side instead to Bradley. Bradley passes back outside to Meminger. He takes an open shot and hits from way outside. 22-footer by Dino, and he has 7 points. 42-41, Buffalo by a point. Ernie D. down court. They double-team the ball. He passes back to Kenny Charles on the right side of McMillan. McMillan goes in, fakes Hawthorne Wingo, shoots and scores. Jackson passes the ball in as Buffalo now leads 44-41 with 3.5 to go in the first half. Down the right side comes Dean Meminger with the ball. Meminger still has it. Guarded by Ernie D. Picked by Jackson. Give to Bradley. Bradley shoots it. He's short, but Meminger gets the ball back for New York. Meminger dribbling left-handed. Goes into the lane. Passes off to Frazier. Frazier fakes Charles. Passes underneath to Meminger. Meminger scores. Beautiful ball handling by the Knicks. Frazier could have taken the shot, but instead he drew the crowd. Flipped the ball to Meminger, and Meminger scores. The Knicks trail by a point. Ernie D. comes down. As the Braves break into position, he passes the ball to Kaufman. He takes a long outside shot. No good. Bradley rebounds. Down court to Jackson all by himself. Snowbird as he goes up and scores. And the Knicks lead 45-44 on a snowbird by Bill Jackson. They inbound the ball to Kaufman. Kaufman gets it to Kenny Charles, and Charles brings the ball across, and Jack Ramsey wants his man to call time. So it's timeout Buffalo with 2:47 left to go in the half. And the score is New York 45 and Buffalo 44. More Knicks basketball in just 60 seconds.
WABY, your station for year-round sports, including the champion New York Knicks.
That's the ball out of bounds. It's Knicks ball, and the Busher immediately calls timeout.
The amazing New York Mets.
The New York Mets have won the pennant. The New York Mets have won the pennant. The New York Mets have won the pennant, and this is a wild scene.
And the New York Jets.
The ball is snapped, placed down, is kicked up, and it is good. And the Jets go ahead, 9-7.
Plus boxing specials, OTV race recreations, and the Keith Jackson Report. Make WABY 14 your #1 station for sports.
WABY 14.
With Frank Messer, this is Joe Hassel at Madison Square Garden. We have 2:47 to go. In what has been an interesting game, it hasn't been a thunderous type of game with much roaring back and forth on each side, but it's a well-contained game, and it's a game that has not been marred by an abundance of fouls. We've seen some fine plays, and we've seen more than our share of bad plays, and those bad plays have been made by the Knicks. But bear in mind that this is pretty much of a patch quilt arrangement out there, and slowly and surely they seem to be working well together. They're not bad for three fellows sitting on a bench of the regulars, Frank.
That's certainly true, and here we go. Buffalo with the ball, and Kenny Charles works with the Kaufman. Kaufman drives, but passes off to Bob McAdoo, has just come back in. And an offensive foul is charged, turning the ball back over to New York. Bob Kaufman with an offensive foul. McAdoo has just come back in, and so is Randy Smith. Ernie DiGregorio is out. Let's see, they have Kaufman and Gar Hurd, and McAdoo, and Randy Smith and Kenny Charles. Bradley takes a shot to the left-hand corner and hits on it. And the Knicks now lead 47-44 with 2.5 to go in the half. Randy Smith on the left side, guarded by Frazier, breaks the play outside, passes to McAdoo on the left. They move Kaufman into the post, and the pass intended for Kaufman intercepted by Frazier was not a good pass by McAdoo. Frazier comes down, whips the ball off to DeBusschere. DeBusschere misses the shot, and it is rebounded by Kaufman. Down the left side to Gar Hurd. He cannot shoot as Jackson gets back on defense. 2 minutes to go in the half. Handling the ball on the left side now is Garfield Hurd. He goes up over Jackson for the shot. It is no good. Battle underneath for the rebound. Coming out with it is Kenny Charles. Charles gets the ball to Randy Smith. Smith to McAdoo on the left-hand side. McAdoo goes in on Bradley, and he scores. Bob McAdoo beats Bradley underneath to make it 47-46. The Knicks lead by 1 point. With a minute and a half left to go in the first half, Bradley comes down the left side, picked up by Gar Hurd, breaks the dribble, gives to Jackson. Jackson to Meminger, and a whistle blows. Offensive foul charged to Bill Bradley, his third personal. Bradley picks up his third personal, and let's see, we're going to have a couple of substitutions. John Gianelli comes in, and Bradley goes out. And Jim McMillan is in, and Bob Kaufman goes out for Buffalo. The ball on the right side to Gar Hurd, and Gianelli takes the ball away from Kenny Charles underneath. And as a battle for it, Charles got it and stuck his foot out of bounds, so give the ball over to the Knicks. Down into forecourt comes Meminger, guarded by Randy Smith now. Meminger spins left, spins right, can't get away from him. And he finally passes off to Frazier. Frazier now to Jackson on the right side of the lane. Jackson loses the ball. It's picked up, though, by Frazier. Frazier's shot is short. But he is fouled on the play by Ken Charles, and Frazier will go to the line. That is Kenny Charles' first personal. Charles is a rookie from right here in New York. He prepped at Fordham. 6'3", 180, 22-year-old rookie. Has just fouled Clyde. Frazier on the line. He shoots, he scores, and it's 48-46. 1 minute left to go in the first half. Hey, Joe Hass, we're going to talk baseball at halftime, I believe, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
All right, second shot is good. And the Knicks now lead 49-46, less than a minute. Driving down and stuffing the ball through is Randy Smith. Randy Smith stuffed it in. He's only 6'3". He had to go way up in the air to do it, but he did it. So the Braves are back to within a point as the Knicks have the ball to Jackson. Now to DeBusschere in the circle. DeBusschere's pass for Memminger. Dean can't handle it. It goes out of bounds. And Buffalo's ball. 37 seconds. Matt Winnick going to be on with you at halftime, Joe? No? All right, down. Here comes the ball down. Handled by Charles. Ball is slapped away, but retrieved in backcourt by Randy Smith. They work the ball on the left-hand side of Charles. He shoots, but a whistle blows. The basket is no good, and it looks like he was fouled as he shot. Bill Jackson is charged with a foul, his first personal foul.
New York's first foul in the last 2 minutes.
That's New York's first foul in the last 2 minutes. And going to the line, Ken Charles.
Shooter is Ken Charles.
Let's see, Charles has not scored in this ball game, but he has a chance right now for a couple.
Good try.
He eyes the basket, and his first shot is no good. He'll shoot again. In the air, and it is no good. He misses on both. The score remains 49-48. The Knicks by a point, and the Knicks have the ball. Memminger brings the ball down. Memminger picked up by Randy Smith. Tries to get away. Bounce pass down to DeBusschere. DeBusschere guarded closely by McMillan. Works the ball to Ginelli. Ginelli shoots over McAdoo. And Ginelli hits. John Ginelli scores. 51-48. And that will be at the end of the first half. A shot was taken at the buzzer by McAdoo, but it would not have counted. It did not go in anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the first half. The score is the New York Knickerbockers 51 and the Buffalo Braves 48. Now, let's listen to this from Schaefer.
Wonder what makes Schaefer the one beer to have when you're having more than one? One reason is more than one fermentation. Most brewers just ferment their beer once, but Schaefer is fermented twice. Once to make it beer, twice to make it Schaefer. The one beer with flavor so fine, it keeps shining through glass after frosty glass. More than one fermentation is one reason, but of course there's more than one reason behind the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the
Back at Madison Square Garden. Here's how the scoring went. Unofficially, Bradley has 8 points, Wingo 2, DeBusschere 5, Ginelli 5, Jackson has 10, Memminger has 9, Frazier has 12 points. McMillan has 10, Hurd has 2, Kaufman 8, McAdoo has 16. He's averaging 28, and he sure looks well on his way to achieving that tonight. Di Gregorio has 6, Randy Smith has 6, and Ken Charles has failed to score. We're at halftime with the score New York 51 and Buffalo 48. We'll have more Knicks basketball in just 60 seconds.
Mr. Businessman, have you a story to tell? Then do it on Wavy Old Gold.
Do it on a bus, do it on a matchbook, do it on the Late Late Show. But if you want to do it good, do it like you should, do it on the radio.
Get the facts on how your advertising dollar goes further on radio, and especially on WABY. Call Ted, Stan, or Jim any day from 9 to 5 at 459-2111. That's 459-2111.
On a napkin, do it on a billboard, any type of print or clothes. If you gotta get it sent with your advertising bread, do it on the radio. Yeah, reach more people for a lot less dough. When you do it, do it, do it, do it on the radio.
WABY.
Before tonight's game, we sat with Matt Winnick, the Assistant Public Relations Director of the New York Mets, and many of the stations that carry the Knicks games also carry the games of the New York Mets. And Matt, I guess that you're greatly pleased over the tremendous finish that your team made.
Well, you don't like to lose the World Series, but just getting there is a lot better than 22 other teams, and we thought we had quite a good year. We got off badly, but things came out in the end. That's the big thing in baseball. It doesn't matter what happens in July or August. It's how you end up that matters, and we ended up in pretty good shape.
What do you think about next year? You surely the percentages have to work with you a little bit, and not as many injuries as you had in 1973.
Well, we've had injuries for 2 years, and we managed to win with the injuries in one of them. You hope that you don't have injuries, of course. You play 162 games again, you're going to have them. It's just how often you have them, or if you have them all at the same time, and that was our trouble last year. Brody and Harrelson and Jones all out at once for about a month, and that makes it tough. If you get them, one you can cover or two, but when you get 3 and 4 at the same time, it's a little too tough to overcome for a while.
Matt, how about the farm? Are they sending anybody up that might be of some great interest, or maybe even make the team next year?
Well, one pitcher who got some laughs from people, Yogi brought him into a game late in the year, a fellow named Bob Apataka, and he brought him into a game, and he walked 2 batters in his only appearance and didn't pitch again. But Bob was a fine relief pitcher at Tidewater, had a 6-3 record and saved about 12 games. The circumstances that night, he hadn't pitched for 12 games and just flew from California, got off the plane and came to the ballpark. Everyone laughs about it, and his name is a little strange, but he's a pretty good right-handed reliever, and he's got a pretty good chance of making our club.
Do you think there'll be any changes for next year?
Oh, I think you always hope to make changes. I think the worst thing you can do is stand pat, but you're not going to make them just for the sake of making them. If you can't help yourself, you just don't go out and do it. The winter meetings in baseball, December 3rd in Houston, I'm sure we've been talking to clubs already, and I'm sure we hope to do something, but I don't think anyone's going to hold us up. I don't think we're in a position where we have to make anything unless we feel we can help ourselves.
Are there any positions or any particular type of ball play in need that you think that you should have to improve the team over last year?
I think both Yogi Berra and Bob Sheffing are looking for a center fielder, preferably a right-handed hitting center fielder who could supply some more punch. I think most of our hitting is left-handed with Milner and Staub and Garrett, and leaving Jones is the only right-handed hitter with power. And if we could fill the center field spot with a right-handed power hitter, which should be an asset, but then again, there aren't that many of them around, and you can't destroy your whole ball club to fill one position.
Matt, do you think that this energy situation will present any problem? I know that many of the games that you play are at night.
I'm not, a scientist, and I really don't know how bad a thing this is. It sounds really grave. It's hard to believe that a country as great as ours would be in that kind of spot. I don't know if it's the electric that's the real concern. It seems to me, from what I read, it's basically a gasoline problem right now. So I think certain baseball parks are going to be affected. I think Dodger Stadium would be a severe disadvantage if there was gas rationing, because all the people come to the ballpark in cars, where in our situation we have the subway right outside the ballpark. Quite a number of our fans come on public transportation, and I don't think it would affect us in that way. As far as the electric is concerned, I'm not that well versed in that part of it to know.
Matt, let me ask you about 3 of the games, if I'm correct again, 3 of the games in the World Series played at Shea Stadium were all-night games, and this apparently was a first. Now, what was your reaction to that? It didn't seem to be exactly in great favor to be playing baseball in what amounted to football weather.
It didn't seem so. It was just unfortunate, I think, because then 2 weeks after that, the weather was beautiful. It's just a freak thing, and really, if we played in the daytime, those days weren't very comfortable either, and people still would have been complaining about the weather. It just works out. Sometimes it's an outdoor sport, and sometimes you get good weather, and sometimes you get bad weather. We could have played it 2 weeks later at night. It would have been 60 degrees, and no one would have complained about the weather one bit.
Matt, one more question. You're going to have a co-tenant this year.
Yeah, the Yankees will be there, and I think it'll be interesting. I think rivalries are good and more interest in baseball, and if this is going to help baseball and promote rivalries, I think everyone's going to benefit.
Thanks to Matt Winnick, Assistant Public Relations Director of the Mets, and another fine year, Matt.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Knicks Radio Network.
In the Capital District, this is the home of the New York Knicks, WABY Albany.
With the score New York 51 and Buffalo 48. We'll have more Knicks basketball in just 60 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a motion picture soundstage with John Wayne.
Scene 2, take 1.
I'm John Wayne. I'd like you to meet a friend of mine, Robert Ogden.
Hi.
Now, you make yourself at home here, youngster, and I'll be back.
Okay.
I've known that little fellow a while. He's mentally retarded, one of more than 6 million kids and adults. I thought some of you might like to help because the retarded can be helped. 2 years ago, Robert couldn't say hi. Well, you heard him. It may not sound like much to you, but to Robert's mother and dad, it's almost a miracle. Well, the National Association for Retarded Children and its nearly 1,500 local associations are helping to make miracles like this happen every day. It isn't easy. Help us, please.
Back at Madison Square Garden, here's some news for Giant fans who will be going to the Yale Bowl on Sunday. Sunday, the Giants play the St. Louis Cardinals, and up to now, the understanding is that there will be no local television because the game is not a sellout. Something like 5,000 tickets are still left to sell up at the Yale Bowl. In any case, special buses are being run from Long Island and from New Jersey. Buses from Long Island will leave Smith Haven Mall in front of Sears Auto Center at 9 a.m. They will leave the Walt Whitman Shopping Center in Huntington in front of A&S's at 9:45 a.m. Leave Smith Haven Mall 9 a.m., A&S's in Huntington at 9:45 a.m. And from New Jersey, orange and black buses will leave the Fort Lee Municipal Parking Lot as soon as they are loaded. The official statistics have just gotten up to us. Buffalo's shooting is good. It's 52%. The Knicks shooting is better. It's 56%. Foul shooting for each team is rather sad. The Braves shooting 40% and the Knicks 56%. Buffalo has hit on 23 of 44 shots. DeGregorio hitting 3 of 9. Hurd 1 out of 5. Kaufman is shooting very well, 4 out of 5. McAdoo is shooting well, shooting 7 of 12. McMillan again a good shooter, 5 of 8. And Smith shooting well, 3 of 5. From the foul line, McAdoo has hit on 2 out of 2, and he's the only man who's hit from the foul line for the Braves. In turnovers, Buffalo has committed 10. The Knicks have committed 13. In team rebounds, Buffalo has 5. The Knicks have 4. For New York, the Knicks have hit on 23 of 41 shots. Bradley has hit on 4 of 6. That's good. DeBusschere is fair, hitting 2 of 5. Frazier hitting 5 of 10. That's good. Giannelli 2 of 6. That's not good. Jackson 5 of 8. That is good. Meminger hit 4 out of 4. You can't do better than that. And Wingo hit on 1 of 2. From the foul line, DeBusschere hit 1 of 2. Frazier 2 of 2. Giannelli 1 of 2. Jackson failed on his 1 attempt. And Meminger hit on 1 of 2. New York hitting on 5 of 9 from the foul line. At the end of the first quarter, Buffalo led 26-21. The Knicks, however, put on a spree in the second quarter, got 30 points. Buffalo got 22. Buffalo outscoring the Knicks 5 points in the first quarter. The Knicks outscoring Buffalo 8 points in the second quarter. So it means that the Knicks will go into the third quarter 3 points to the good. It figures to be a reasonably close game. This is still a building Buffalo Brave team. Eddie Donovan is their general manager. You may remember he had a great career at St. Bonaventure, then came down here to the Knicks and became general manager. And he is greatly responsible, along with Ned Irish, for bringing in the players who eventually saw the Knicks win the first World Championship for the 1969-70 season. And then he left shortly thereafter and went to Buffalo. And you can be sure that he'll be building a team there. He is using Jack Ramsey as coach. The Knickerbockers, as we pointed out, hampered by injuries to their 1 and 2 centers. Willis Reed still on the bench. They hope to have him back on Saturday night. And Jerry Lucas is in Roosevelt Hospital. He has some kind of a back injury that they're working on. He aggravated that a week ago. So the Knicks are not at full strength. And, of course, Earl Monroe, having to undergo surgery for a bone spur, will not see any type of action until possibly sometime in December. Last night, Boston beat Seattle 110-104. Portland beat Detroit 111-108. And Kansas City beat Houston 118-116 in overtime. In other games tonight, Portland will be at Atlanta and Philadelphia will be at Phoenix. In the Atlantic Division, Boston leads. They've won 11 and lost 3. The Knicks are second. They've won 9 and lost 7. They're 3 games out. And Buffalo has won 7 and lost 10. They're 5.5 games out. Philadelphia is last in the Atlantic Division of the Eastern Conference. They are 7 games out. Tomorrow night, Milwaukee will be at Boston. They'll be in here on Saturday night. Tomorrow, Kansas City at Detroit, Chicago at Los Angeles, and Cleveland at Seattle. In the Midwest Division, you take a look at that Milwaukee team, and they've dropped only 1 game. They've played 16, and they've lost only 1. They have a tremendous percentage of .938. In Chicago, playing good ball, they've won 13 and lost 3, have a percentage of .813, and they just can't catch up on the Bucks, Frank. It's one of those things that kind of wears you out a little bit.
Yes, that's right, Joe. You know, George, just looking down the stat sheet here, an amazing thing to me. On rebounds, the Knicks have 16 plus 5 team rebounds, a total of 21. And the Braves have 21. The Knicks have 25. But neither team has more than 3 offensive rebounds. A grand total of 3 per team in the first half. So, as you mentioned a couple of times, you got to get that first shot, or you're not going to get a second chance at it. They're just not. Neither team is rebounding off the offensive board.
That McAdoo impresses me very much, Frank. He looks like a scarecrow out there. He's so very thin, but he's a well-conditioned athlete, has great coordination, and he's strong, and he knows how to handle that ball.
All right, McAdoo will be starting against Giannelli at center. They'll be jumping Ernie D. and Randy Smith out there for Buffalo. Jim McMillan is out along with Bob Kaufman, who did not start first half. Kaufman is starting in place of Gar Hurd. And we'll give you the Knicks as we go right now. Don Murphy tosses the ball up. The tap is controlled by McAdoo, and Buffalo has the ball. The Knicks have DeBusschere and Bradley, Giannelli, Frazier, and Meminger, the same 5 that started the game. Randy D on the left side, passes back outside to Randy Smith. Smith to McAdoo. He fakes. Giannelli passes underneath to Kaufman for 2 points. Bob Kaufman scores. And the Knicks lead is 1 point now, 51-50, as the Knicks bring the ball down. Meminger works the ball to Bradley on the right side of DeBusschere. On the give and go, back to Dino, and he scores. Dean Meminger on a give and go for Bradley scores. And it is 53-50, the Knicks by 3. Here's Randy Smith racing the ball down against Walt Frazier. He can't beat him. Goes to baseline now, takes a fadeaway jumper and hits. Randy Smith brings the Braves back to a point. We've got a ball game, 53-52, the Knicks by a point. Now Frazier drives the right side of the circle. Can't shoot over Smith, works the ball into the corner to DeBusschere. Back outside it comes to Bradley for a 16-footer, and he hits. Bill Bradley from the right side of the circle hits for the Knicks, and they lead by 3, 55-52. We played just 1 minute's worth here in the third period. Now Ernie D down, passes back outside to Randy Smith on the right side to Ernie D. Gregorio, looking for Kaufman to break. The fans thought Kaufman might have picked up an offensive foul as he hit Giannelli, but it is not called. Finally, Ernie D takes the shot, no good. Rebound by Giannelli. His pass is intercepted by McMillan. McMillan to McAdoo, and McAdoo stuffs it. Giannelli trying to pass the ball to Frazier, and it intercepted. by Jim McMillan. McMillan got it to McAdoo, and McAdoo stuffed it in. It's 55-54. The Knicks by a point. And now, DeBusschere drives past McAdoo, shoots it, is no good. McAdoo goes up for the rebound, an elbow is thrown, and a loose ball foul. An elbowing foul is charged to Jim McMillan. That's his third personal foul. McMillan on a loose ball foul. Manager will pass it in for the Knicks. He looks for somebody, finds DeBusschere. DeBusschere guarded by Kaufman, can't shoot. He's outside with it, fakes left, passes right now to Bradley. Bradley drives on McMillan. Left-hand hook is no good. And McAdoo on the rebound. Took it away from Giannelli. Gets the ball out to Ernie D. And DiGregorio brings it down into forecourt for the Buffalo Braves. Braves trailing by a point. We've played 2 minutes worth here in the third period. McMillan with the ball on the left side. Back behind the key now. It comes to McAdoo. McAdoo shuffled both feet. The officials didn't see it. Passes the ball off to Ernie D. Ernie D takes a free shot from the free throw line and scores. An open shot for Ernie D. Gregorio, and Buffalo takes the lead 56-55. Here comes Frazier down. Passes on the left side to DeBusschere. Give it back to Frazier. To Giannelli, guarded by McAdoo. Giannelli hands the ball off to Meminger. Meminger can't get away from Ernie D. Passes the ball to Frazier. He fakes Randy Smith, and he misses the layup. Followed up by Giannelli, too. John Giannelli has 7 points, and the Knicks take the lead 57-56. Long down court pass to Randy Smith. He takes a shot, and he scores. Randy Smith almost a snowbird. Frazier got down there, but in no position to try to block it or keep him from shooting. And now here comes Meminger behind the back dribble as he drives to the left side of the lane, passes back out to Frazier on the right side of the circle to Bradley. Bradley scores. Bill Bradley hitting an 18-footer from the right side of the circle, 59-58. The Knicks by a point. We have 9 minutes left to go in the period. A lot of action here in this basketball game. Ernie D on the right side of the lane, drives to the baseline, shoots. It is no good off the front rim, rebound to DeBusschere. DeBusschere down court to Frazier. Braves drop back on defense. Frazier slows things down. Now he passes off to Giannelli on the right side of the lane. He misses his shot. McAdoo rebounds to Ernie D. Gregorio. Down court to Randy Smith. Smith trying to beat Meminger, goes up with a shot and scores. Randy Smith now has 12 points for Buffalo. And the Braves lead by a point, 60-59. Seesawing back and forth, a point, a point, a point, a point. 8:30 left to go in the third period. Meminger's pass is knocked out of bounds by Jim McMillan, and here comes Phil Jackson. And the Knicks will call time. Red Holtzman wants his troops to gather around, so with 8:28 on the clock, there's timeout with the score: Buffalo 60 and New York 59. More Knicks basketball in just 60 seconds.
It's finished, it's new, and it's great. It's the Ramada Inn Silo Restaurant. Now the Silo can plan a banquet for you for up to 800 people. Plus, in January, the grand opening of the new Ramada Inn. And at the Silo, you get quality food and service that'll bring you back to the Silo for your next banquet. The Silo Restaurant, 1228 Western Avenue, Albany, now ready to plan your business or holiday banquet or party. Simply call 489-4491. That's 489-4491. And in January 74, the grand opening of the Ramada Inn.
The ball game's on, and no matter who you root for, you win some, you lose some, but why not start the morning off even and tie some once in a while? Tie it all together with the music madness of Roberta W. Morgan immediately following tonight's game on WABY. From the Furline Studio, where everything is satin smothered with smoothness, Roberta W. Morgan immediately following the ball game. Get it?
Back at Madison Square Garden, 8:28 to go in the third quarter. Buffalo leading the Knicks 60-59. Phil Jackson is in there. He'll be playing against Bob McAdoo. Okay, Frank.
Right you are, Joe. Giannelli is out. The Knicks pass the ball in. Frazier to Jackson. Jackson has taken the high post. Gives to Bradley. Jackson hits the deck. Bradley shoots and scores. Phil Jackson hit the floor. Bradley got the 2 points, and the Knicks lead 61-60. 8:14 left to go in the third period. Now Ernie D on the right side of McAdoo. McAdoo is guarded right now by DeBusschere. Worked the ball to Kaufman, picked up by Jackson. Jackson on Kaufman. Long shot taken, and pass on the left side of McMillan. Long shot was taken by McAdoo. No good. McMillan shot no good. And now the Knicks rebound. Jackson gets the ball to the Busher. The Busher to Fraser. Fraser to Bradley on the right side. Bradley shoots over McAdoo, and he scores. And Kaufman hits the deck. Kaufman's putting on a little act down there, trying to draw a foul, but to no avail. 63-60, the Knicks by 3. Here comes Randy Smith down on Fraser as McAdoo sets up a pick. Now he passes off to Ernie D. Ernie D waiting for somebody to break. McAdoo sets up another pick. Ernie D drives the right side, takes the shot at Swisheroo. Ernie D. Gregorio now with 10 points as he reaches double figures, and it is 63-62, New York by 1. Fraser dancing down against Randy Smith, takes a shot from the back line of the circle. It is no good, and McAdoo rebounds. And again in this half, as in the first, only one shot. That's in. You better make it, baby. Kaufman takes the shot, no good, and it is Jackson rebounding for New York. Neither team getting more than one shot off. In the right-hand corner to DeBusschere, he shoots. It is no good, and the rebound by Buffalo. It was McMillan tapping the ball to Randy Smith, to Ernie D. Back to McMillan on the left side of the lane. He goes in against Bradley. He shoots. It is good. Jim McMillan. McMillan now has 12, and Buffalo takes the lead 64-63. 6:40 left to go in the third quarter. Here comes Fraser down the middle of the court with the ball. Steps it across the 10-second line. Still dribbling outside. Passes left to Bradley. Bradley moving on McMillan behind the circle. Passes to the right of the circle to Jackson. Jackson into the circle for a jumper. It is no good, and McAdoo rebounds. Better make that first one. That's all you're going to get in this ball game. McMillan with the ball down court. Now to Ernie D on the right side of McAdoo. He shoots over to Busher. It is no good. Rebounded by Jackson. And the Knicks have it back. And to Fraser. Fraser going down against Randy Smith. Fraser to the right side of the circle. Still dribbling. Drives the right side of the lane. He shoots. It is no good. And this time Meminger follows up. And McMillan rebounds as Meminger misses. To Ernie D. Ernie D straight down. Meminger bids for the ball. Can't get it to McMillan. He takes the jumper over Bradley. No good. And Fraser rebounds. Turn it around and go the other way again to Bradley. Bradley to the circle. Passes back to Fraser. Sets the screen. Fraser shoots. No good. Meminger follows up. And it is no good. Meminger again. And it is good, and Meminger's foul. Goaltending, no foul. It was goaltending charged to Kaufman. Meminger gets the goal. The ball went through anyway, but goaltending was charged to Kaufman. Meminger gets the goal, and the Knicks lead 65-64. There was no foul. Buffalo puts the ball in play. Randy Smith comes down with it. 5.5 left to go in the third quarter. To McAdoo on the give and go back to Randy. He shoots, he scores. Randy Smith on a give and go from McAdoo. And the Braves by a point. Bradley down the left side. Buffalo leading by 1. Meminger on the left side. Back to Bradley. He drives the baseline. He shoots, he misses. And he gets the rebound. Passes back outside of Fraser. Fraser to Jackson on the left side. He beats McAdoo but misses the shot. And Kaufman rebounds. To Randy Smith, to Ernie D. Ernie D. Gregorio, 20-footer off the back rim. No good. Bradley rebounds. And the Knicks moving right to left. Whip it back down court to DeBusschere in the right-hand corner. He is guarded by Kaufman. DeBusschere cannot shoot. Passes to Bradley. Bradley to Fraser on the left side of the circle. Fraser drives to the circle. Gives to DeBusschere. Jumper from behind the circle. No good. McAdoo rebounds. The Braves have the ball. And here we go back down the other way. 4:50 showing on the clock in the third period. Right-hand hook by Ernie D. No good. Rebound DeBusschere. DeBusschere to Meminger. And here come the Knicks back down with it to Fraser. Fraser drives underneath. He goes up for the shot. And he misses. Tap underneath by DeBusschere. No good. The ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by McAdoo. The Knicks retain possession. And a timeout is called by Buffalo. So with 4:34 left to go in the third period, there's timeout with a score. Buffalo 66 and New York 65. More Knicks basketball in just a minute.
Let Protective Loan help make financial problems disappear with a bill consolidation loan. Protective Loan gives fast, friendly, one-day service, and they'll even help with family budgeting advice. Protective Loan likes to help people like you. And now Protective Loan can lend you up to $2,500 for any good reason. There's always a Protective Loan office nearby. In Albany at 215 Central Avenue and 11 North Pearl Street, and in Schenectady at 1884 State Street.
In 1973, Capital Country will hear the New York Jets in action right here on WABY Sports Radio 14 Albany. This is Marty Glickman. Along with Larry Grantham, we'll bring you all the Jets action right from the 50-yard line at home and away.
Back at Madison Square Garden, we have 4:34 to go in the third quarter. Again, Buffalo leading by 1 point, 66 to 65. Knicks' biggest lead was 3 points. Braves' biggest lead was 6 points. So we have had a tight ball game, a well-played ball game. Both teams moving the ball quickly back, up and down court in this particular half of the game so far. Frank?
Okay, Joe, neither team penetrating too well. They're shooting from outside and getting only the one shot, as we have said several times. All right, bounce pass into Bradley. Bradley takes the shot from underneath, and he misses. And it's rebounded by McMillan. Buffalo has it to Randy Smith. Smith whips it down to Kaufman on the left side of the lane, and he starts to shoot. Jackson gets there. He passes instead to Smith. Randy Smith can't shoot. Whips it in the left-hand corner to McAdoo. He shoots over to Busher. No good, and Bradley rebounds. There it is. One shot. The other team's got it. 4:10 on the clock. With Buffalo leading by 1. The Knicks slow play down. Bradley has it. McMillan guards him. He gets it to Memminger. Memminger now to Frazier. Frazier works it around the right side to the Busher. The Busher fakes left. Passes right to Bradley. He passes to Frazier behind the circle. 4 seconds to get the shot off. Frazier gives it to Jackson. Jackson takes the 16-footer and hits. Just as the shooting clock runs out, Jackson hits. The Knicks lead by a point. Here comes Randy Smith down on Walt Frazier. He takes a spin-around jumper. It's good. And the Braves lead by a point. It's 68-67. 3:40 to go in the third quarter. Memminger down against Ernie D. Memminger breaks the dribble outside, holds it high, passes to Bradley on the left side of the court. Bradley drives behind the circle to the right of the circle, whips the ball to Frazier. Frazier trying to get out on Randy Smith, can't, backs off. Still backing off, passes to Jackson. Jackson beats McAdoo with a shot and misses. And it is tapped by DeBuscher to Frazier. Frazier out of Bradley, an open shot from behind the key, no good. The ball bounces high in the air, and it is picked off as it comes down by McMillan of Buffalo. Down court in the left-hand corner to McAdoo. He shoots over Bradley in and out, no good. Followed up by McMillan, no good. One of the few offensive follow-ups for the Buffalo Braves. Rebound Jackson. Jackson to Frazier. Frazier down court, drives in underneath, takes the shot over McMillan and scores. Frazier was guarded then by McMillan, but got the two, and the Knicks lead by a point with 2:50 to go. It's 69-68. Into forecourt comes Ernie DiGregorio. Pick set up there by Kaufman, and Memminger sticks his shoulder into his midsection. 2 Braves on the floor. Memminger driving into Kaufman. Dean Memminger gets the foul, and underneath looked like Jackson knocked Ernie DiGregorio down. Ernie D is on his feet holding his nose. He may have been cut just a little bit. Let's see if the trainer, Ray Melchiori, wants to look at him. Nope. It's Buffalo's ball. The foul was on Memminger for sticking a shoulder into the midriff of Bob Kaufman, and that's sort of a mismatch there. Kaufman 6'8", 240, and Dean Memminger 6'1" and 175. Kaufman puts on a pretty good act when he hits the floor, though. But it was truly a charging foul there. All right, McMillan will pass the ball in for the Braves to McAdoo. McAdoo looks and he passes right to Kaufman. Kaufman guarded by Phil Jackson. Kaufman picks set up by McAdoo. Kaufman spins around, pivots, does not shoot, and passes the ball out of bounds. That is the third time, just off the top of my head, that the Braves have thrown the ball away with nobody near the ball. It was thrown away twice by Ernie D. And right there by Kaufman as nobody broke for it. All right, the Knicks have it. Memminger to Frazier. Frazier on the right side of the circle, breaks the dribble, holds the ball high, now works it on the right side of the Busher. The Busher goes in on McMillan. He shoots no good. Jackson follows up. Left-hand hook is no good, and McAdoo rebounds. The Knicks are getting more aggressive under their own offensive board now. They're going after that second shot, but that time McAdoo, a little too much for Davey D. Down the left side with the ball is Ernie DiGregorio. He comes in, passes the ball across court to Randy Smith. Smith takes the jump shot from the right side of the circle. The 2-minute warning sounded. It is no good, and Bradley rebounds for the Knicks. Inside the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter, Jackson has the ball, drives to the circle, left-hand hook by Phil Jackson. He scores, and Jackson now with 14 points. The Knicks lead 71-68 with 1:40 left to go in the third quarter. Randy Smith slows play down as he brings the ball down court for Buffalo. Bounce pass to Kaufman on the left side, guarded by Jackson. Kaufman to Ernie D, loses the ball. McAdoo gets it. And McAdoo now to Randy Smith. Smith tries to drive, and he cannot. He is fouled by Frazier. That'll be the second on Clyde. Second personal foul on Walt Frazier. Next first foul in the last 2 minutes. Garfield Hurd has come in. Bob Kaufman is out for Buffalo with Gar Hurd in. All right, Ernie D with the ball. Works it to Kaufman. He loses it but gets it back. Back to Ernie D. He'll set up another play. Fans chanting defense as the Knicks lead by 3. 1:17, 1:15 now. Ernie D drives down the left side. He shoots. It is no good. And DeBusschere rebounds for New York. To Bradley. Bradley streaks down the right side with it. Drives to the circle. Drives. Passes the ball underneath the Manager. Manager back outside of Frazier. Frazier jumper from the right side of the circle. He hits. Walt Frazier hits and the Knicks lead by 5 at 73-68. Less than a minute to go in the third quarter. Fast and furious action right now. Ernie D down the left-hand side for Buffalo. Slows play down for a moment. Passes cross court to Randy Smith on the right-hand side. It goes to McMillan. Back to Randy Smith. Smith guarded by Frazier. Passes the ball to McMillan. He shoots no good off the front rim. Bradley rebounds. Down court. Snowbird for Dino. Manager. Just a two on a Snowbird. And the Knicks have their largest lead of the ball game at 75-68. 30 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Jack Ramsey on his feet in front of his bench, showing something out to his men. The ball is handled by McMillan. He works it underneath to McAdoo, and he stuffs it in. Bob McAdoo beat Jackson and stuffed it in, and he was fouled on the play. 20 points for McAdoo. Dave DeBusschere is the one that got him. He and Jackson both guarding there. DeBusschere's second personal foul. And the Knicks are over the limit. McAdoo has 2 to make 1. He doesn't need the second one. He makes good on the first one, and it's 75-71. The Knicks by 4 with 19 seconds. So the Knicks will play for the last shot of the third quarter. Frazier with the ball. Randy Smith has his hand on Frazier's hip. Frazier can't spin away from him. Still trying, working ever closer. Now drives down the right side into the corner. Eyes the clock. Still has the ball in his slide. Now he goes to the circle, takes the jumper. It is no good as the buzzer's down. And you'd have to say the Knicks might have wasted an opportunity right there. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the third quarter. The score, the New York Knickerbockers 75 and the Buffalo Braves 71. More Knicks basketball in just 60 seconds.
The friendly people at Protective Loan Corporation want to help you with that autumn time home improvement, whether it's a new garage, roof repairs, or heating modernization. Protective Loan wants to help people like you with fast one-day service. And there's always a Protective Loan office near you. 620 Columbia Turnpike, East Greenbush, 1884 State Street, Schenectady, and in Manans at 291 Broadway. Get home improvement help this fall from Protective Loan.
In 1973, Capital Country will hear the New York Jets in action right here on WABY Sports Radio 14 Albany. This is Marty Glickman, along with Larry Grantham. We'll bring you all the Jets action right from the 50-yard line at home and away.
Let's pause for station identification. This is the Knicks Radio Network.
In the Capital District, this is the home of the New York Knicks. WABY Albany.
Joe Hassel with Frank Messer at Madison Square Garden. At the end of the first quarter, Buffalo led the Knicks 26-21. Second quarter was a good one for the Knicks. They got 30 points, holding Buffalo to 22. Knicks leading at halftime 51-48. In this third period, which has just come to an end, Knicks got 24 points. Buffalo got 23. So you can see that Buffalo's scoring is quite even. And the Knicks go into this fourth quarter, 75-71, a 4-point lead. Okay, Frank.
Here we go with the fourth quarter. It'll be Jackson dumping McAdoo for it. And Lee Jones is set to toss the ball in the air. It is tapped by McAdoo over to Randy Smith. Ernie D is in there with Smith in the backcourt. McAdoo along with McMillan and, let's see, Gar Hurd for the Braves. Knicks have Bradley and DeBusschere, Jackson, Frazier, and Manager. All right, taking a shot, Randy Smith. It is no good, but he is fouled by Frazier. Third personal on Frazier, and he fouled him in the act of shooting, so Randy Smith will go to the line. Knicks leading 75-71, just underway in the fourth quarter. And they want the broom out there where Randy Smith hit the floor to mop up the water, the perspiration spot left. Now the ball will be handed to Randy Smith. Smith in this ball game has scored 16 points. 2 shots coming. He now has 16 as he misses the first one, kicks the ball back at Lee Jones in disgust. He shoots again. This one is good. And it's 75-72, the Knicks by 3. Meminger brings the ball down, convoyed down court by DeBusschere. Meminger backing in on Ernie DiGregorio, swings right, now comes back left again, swings to his left, now back to his right, passes in the left-hand corner to Bradley. Bradley back to Jackson for an open shot, and Jackson missed it, followed up by Meminger. It is no good. The ball goes out of bounds, and it's last touched by Buffalo. So Meminger will pass the ball in. Dean thought he might have drawn a foul that time from either Ernie D or Jim McMillan, but the officials say no. Meminger holds it high to pass it in, works it into DeBusschere. DeBusschere picked up by Randy Smith. He whips the ball to Jackson, who drives. His shot is partially blocked, and it is no good. Down court to Randy Smith. He beats DeBusschere. DeBusschere screaming that Randy Smith travels. Lee Jones is having none of it, though, and Randy Smith has 2 points. The Braves trail by just 1. DeBusschere was beaten by Randy Smith and claimed that Smith traveled. But to no avail. All right, now Bradley swings around the circle, passes off on the right side to Dave DeBusschere. DeBusschere shoots no good. McAdoo rebounds for Buffalo. The Braves have a chance to take the lead. They trail by 1 as Ernie D brings the ball down. Ernie DiGregorio, 6 feet tall, 180 pounds, a rookie from Providence College, 22 years old, a fine-looking young man. He takes the ball into the circle, whips it on the left side to Gar Hurd. Hurd takes a shot over to DeBusschere, in and out, no good. And Bradley on the rebound for New York. And again, only that 1 shot. Meminger handles the ball to Frazier. Frazier behind the circle. Breaks his dribble, can't shoot. Passes back to DeBusschere on the right side to Jackson. Jackson to Bradley. Bradley drives underneath, lays it up and in. Bill Bradley scores, and it is 77-74. Randy Smith brings the ball down court as Frazier presses him in the backcourt, but Randy gets it across the 10-second line with plenty to spare. Passes on the right side to Garfield Hurd. Hurd holds it high, looks for McAdoo, can't get it to him. Still looking for McAdoo, still can't get it to him. Passes outside to McMillan. McMillan to Ernie D. Ernie D backing in on Meminger, hands the ball off to Randy Smith, sets up a screen. Smith shoots no good. DeBusschere rebounds for New York. DeBusschere down courts the ball to Meminger in forecourt. Meminger slows play down now, passes right to DeBusschere. DeBusschere drives toward the circle, flips the ball off to Frazier. Frazier drives into the right-hand corner, takes passes underneath to Jackson, and the shot is blocked by Garfield Hurd, but he got some arm as well as some leather. So it is a foul on Garfield Hurd, his second. McMillan goes out, and Bob Kaufman comes back in for the Buffalo Braves, and Phil Jackson will go to the line for the New York Knicks. Jackson has 14 points. Meminger has 15. Frazier 16, and Bradley 18. Well-balanced scoring right there. DeBusschere, who is the Knicks' second high scorer for the season, however, has hit on only 5 points so far tonight. So the Braves have done a good job on DeBusschere. All right, Jackson at the line. His left-hand shot is good. 78-74, 9:28 left to go in the ball game. Jackson shoots again. It is good. 79-74, the Knicks by 5. The Braves with the ball, and Ernie D brings it down. We told you Kaufman had come in. Kaufman replacing McMillan. All right, Ernie D still with the ball on the right side. Picks it up by McAdoo, and the shot is made by Ernie DiGregorio. He shoots from the right-hand corner and scores, 79-76, 9:05 left to go in the ball game. Meminger on the left-hand side, drives toward the lane, backing in on DiGregorio, passes now to Frazier. Frazier shoots, in and out, no good. McAdoo rebounds. What a job that McAdoo has done. The more you see it, the more you have to like him. Fine-looking ball player. All right, Ernie D with the ball. Passes on a high post to Kaufman. Kaufman works the ball now to Gar Hurd. He has the ball knocked away from him, but a whistle blows on the play. And Garfield Hurd was fouled by Phil Jackson. Jackson's second personal foul. And Hurd will go to the line. Garfield Hurd has 2 shots coming. He has 2 points in the game. He misses the first one. Score remains 79-76. And Hurd will shoot again. Dribbles the ball a couple of times. Deep side. He shoots. It is no good. Rebound Jackson. So that one didn't hurt anything. Frazier with the ball as far as the Knicks are concerned. Frazier in the forecourt. Guarded by Randy Smith. Breaks the dribble, passes the ball to DeBusschere. DeBusschere guarded now by McAdoo. Works it to Bradley. Six set up by Jackson. Pass back to DeBusschere. DeBusschere shoots it. Is no good. And Kaufman rebounds for Buffalo. Give the ball to Ernie D. And D. Gregorio brings it down in the forecourt and sets up the play. Ernie D. drives around a pick by McAdoo. Now McAdoo works himself free. Ernie D. doesn't spin. Gives instead to Kaufman. Kaufman shoots in the circle. Kaufman scores. Kaufman now with 12 points for Buffalo. And the Knicks lead is cut to a single point. Just over 8 minutes left to go in the ball game. Frazier in on Randy Smith. Bounce pass right side to DeBusschere. DeBusschere guarded by McAdoo. Works the ball to Jackson. Left hand hook over Garner. Switch. Bill Jackson with 18. And he and Bradley are tied for Knicks high point honors. High point man in the game is McAdoo with 21 for Buffalo. Ernie D on the left-hand side to Gar Hurd. Gets it back behind the back pass for McAdoo. He cannot shoot. Almost went out of bounds. He whips the ball up to Dean Gregorio. Taken away by Meminger. Dean solo scores. Dean Meminger stole the ball away from Ernie D. Gregorio and solo down. McAdoo, a bit at fault there for not handling the pass underneath. Perhaps it was too hard for him. Really whipped in. All right, the Knicks lead by 5 at 83-78. Shot taken by Randy Smith. It is no good. And as Kaufman rebounds, the whistle blows. Loose ball foul. Charged against Bob Kaufman, his fourth. And Jack Ramsey is irate. He leaped to his feet. Really came off that bench in a hurry, screaming at Lee Jones, the official. Knicks have the ball. Each team has a pair of team fouls here in the final quarter. Jackson gets the ball to DeBusschere. Give it back to Jackson. Jackson drives down the legs, left side. Can't shoot over McAdoo. Sets up a screen now for DeBusschere. DeBusschere scores. 85-78. 7 minutes left to go. The Knicks start pulling away. And Buffalo will call timeout. Jack Ramsey still screaming at the officials. Timeout with 6:59 left to go in the ball game. The score, New York 85 and Buffalo 78. More Knicks basketball in just 60 seconds.
You may have the insurance to cover an accident and a trip to the hospital, but what about later when you're laid up at home and unable to work? Now you can be covered there too with disability income insurance from Mutual of Omaha. This plan can pay you benefits when a covered sickness or accident keeps you from working. Call J.J. Kearns at 489-7421. Ask for details on Mutual of Omaha's health insurance that can pay at home. From the people you can count on at Mutual of Omaha. J.J. Kearns, 792 Central Avenue, Albany. Phone 489-7421.
This is Dan Donovan passing along an idea we've found to be extremely helpful at the Donovan home in enjoying Sunday football. Just turn your television on to the New York Jets game, but don't turn up the sound. Then turn your radio on to Wavy 14 for the audio portion. Now, you'll find the radio description much more vivid and more understandable if there's a new football fan in your household. So give it a try this Sunday. The Jets on TV and Wavy 14.
Joe Hassel with Frank Messer at Madison Square got New York leading by 7 points. That equals their biggest lead in the game so far. At one stage, Buffalo led by 6. We have just under 7 minutes left to play. New York leading 85-78. Tell you one thing, Bradley, DeBusschere, Frazier, and Meminger have sure gone a long way in this game. There's been very few substitutes on each side. Randy Smith inbounds to D. Gregorio. Here's Frank.
Okay, Joe, here we go. In the last 7 minutes of this basketball game, Ernie D against Meminger down the left side. He finds McAdoo along the left sideline. McAdoo back outside to Kaufman. Kaufman guarded by Jackson, can't shoot. And he passes over to Randy Smith. Frazier on Smith, works the ball now into Gar Hurd. He goes up against Bradley, fakes, he shoots, it is no good. And Jackson rebounds. Jackson gets the ball down to Meminger. Here come the Knickerbockers. Meminger now slows play down, passes between his legs to Bradley. Bradley to Jackson on a high post. Jackson hands the ball to Frazier. Frazier hands it to DeBusschere. DeBusschere now guarded by Kaufman. Ball is outside. Frazier has it as pick set up by Jackson. Frazier drives the left side, passes back to Jackson. Jackson takes the shot, and it is no good. Rebounded by Kaufman. Kaufman to Ernie D, and Buffalo has the ball with 6:10 to go, and the Knicks leading 85-78. Ernie D still with the ball. Meminger is with him. Meminger stays there. Ernie D goes left, comes back right, hands the ball now to Gar Hurd, and Hurd takes the shot after a fake. It is in and out, no good. Bill Jackson rebounds. Jackson having one of his best nights of the season. To Frazier. Frazier brings the ball down slowly behind the circle, still dribbling slowly, going to his right, breaks the dribble, passes right to DeBusschere. McAdoo comes out to beat DeBusschere. DeBusschere moves, and now Kaufman picks him up to Bradley. Bradley drives on her, passes back outside to DeBusschere for an open shot. Switch. Dave DeBusschere hits from the clear, and he now has 9 points. And the Knicks lead 87-78. That is the widest margin for either team tonight, 9 points. Less than 5.5 to go, 5:25. Ernie D has it. Now thick set up by Kaufman. Ernie D shoots off the front rim, no good, and Kaufman drives into the corner to take the loose ball. Bounce pass to Ernie D. Ernie D drives to the lane, can't shoot, passes back to Smith. They'll set it up again to Garfield Hurd in the right-hand corner. Hurd holds the ball out, trying to find somebody. Now starts to dribble. Passes to Kaufman. Kaufman a jumper from the back of the key, no good. Rebound is tapped by Memminger to Frazier. Knicks have it. Frazier drives down, bounce pass to DeBusschere. DeBusschere loses the ball out of bounds, and it goes back over to Buffalo. Dave DeBusschere could not handle the pass, and Jim McMillan checks in for Buffalo. Gar Hurd comes out, McMillan comes in. Big Jim from Columbia University in his third year, 6'5", 220. Excellent basketball player. And now the pass on the right side to McMillan. McMillan drives to find McAdoo underneath. The ball is knocked out of bounds by DeBusschere. McAdoo will pass it in for Buffalo. McAdoo whips it in to Randy Smith. He shoots quickly, no good, and rebound by Jackson really to DeBusschere. DeBusschere's pass for Bradley goes out of bounds. So Buffalo gets it back again with 4:44. The Knicks lead by 9. And it's going to be Jim McMillan to pass the ball in for the Braves on the far sideline. He whips it into Kaufman. Kaufman trying to get away from Phil Jackson. Passes in the left-hand corner to McAdoo. He shoots, he scores. Bob McAdoo hits for Buffalo, and it's 87-80. Knicks lead by 7 with just 4.5 left to go in the game. Here comes Frazier slowly down to the forecourt on the right-hand side. Passes into the corner to DeBusschere. DeBusschere got it by McAdoo, gives it back to Frazier. Frazier sees the clock running down, 10 seconds to get the shot off, gives to Bradley. Bradley drives down to the corner, picked up by Randy Smith, takes him underneath and scores. Bill Bradley took Randy Smith underneath and scored. And it's 89-80, the Knicks again by 9 with just over 4 minutes left to go. Randy Smith down court quickly for Buffalo. Goes in, now comes out again. Passes to Ernie D on the right-hand side of the circle. He whips it into the right-hand corner to McMillan. McMillan drives on Bradley, goes up with a shot. It is no good, and the rebound is picked off by DeBusschere. DeBusschere gives the ball to Frazier. Frazier on the right-hand side now to Memminger, and Memminger brings it down into forecourt for the Knicks. To DeBusschere along the right sideline. DeBusschere makes a shot, passes instead to Phil Jackson. Jackson holding the ball on a low post, now goes in for the shot over Kaufman. It is no good and rebounded by McAdoo. McAdoo to Ernie D. Ernie D down court to Kaufman on a fast break, and Kaufman scores. That big man moving down court quickly. Kaufman at 6'8", 240. Beat everybody down court on a fast break and got his 2 points. 89-82, 7-point lead for the Knicks with 3:15 on the clock. Frazier has it. He tries to move in on Randy Smith, does so, shoots. It is good. Spun it around the rim 3 times. That's got through. 91-82, just over 3 minutes left to go in the ball game. The Knicks leading by 9 points again. We're at the 3-minute mark. Ernie D takes a shot. It is no good. Rebound to DeBusschere. What a job DeBusschere has done on the defensive rebound. He gives the ball to Frazier. Frazier spins the lane and scores. Walt Frazier spinning down the lane, lays it up and in. Jack Ramsey wants time. So timeout Buffalo with 2:47 left to go as a score. New York 93 and Buffalo 82. More Knicks basketball in just 60 seconds.
Leach Products, the complete auto parts house, says bring your auto supply problems to us. With close to $500,000 in automotive parts inventory, Leach will help you do the job right. Leach at 650 Central Avenue, Albany, 1012 State Street, Schenectady, and 2 Park Place in Cobleskill. It's open daily from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. Great inventory, lowest prices on foreign and domestic car parts. When you think auto parts, think Leach. Leach Products.
The ball game's on, and no matter who you root for, you win some, you lose some. Why not start the morning off even and tie some once in a while? Tie it all together with the music madness of Roberta W. Morgan immediately following tonight's game on WABY. From the Furline Studio, where everything is satin smothered with smoothness, Roberta W. Morgan immediately following the ball game. Get it?
been put up at the end of the first quarter. It looks like Atlanta 29 and Portland 28. In my eyes, that bad, or were the numbers that bad? They just took it down again, but it looked as if Atlanta was leading Portland at the end of the first quarter, 29-28. Kevin Cunit, who's 7 feet tall, is going in. Number 43, he is another big man, a big physical man. He's 230 pounds from Iowa. Okay, Ernie D will inbound his friend.
All right, a lot of beef in there in the person of Kevin Cunit. All right, here's Randy Smith down court against Frazier. Smith breaks the dribble off, passes to Ernie D on the right side. The ball comes to McMillan. McMillan finds Cunit, who just came in, and he gets the ball to Ernie D. Does Cunit. Underneath it goes to McAdoo, and the next triple team able to take the ball away, but a whistle blows. And with 3 men going after the ball, one of them got McAdoo's arm. McAdoo also got a finger, I think, in the eye. Scoring table wants to know what the foul is all about, what the whistle's all about. The foul is on Phil Jackson. At least he raises his hand.
Probably a loose ball foul, Frank.
Phil Jackson, third personal.
That's Jackson's third personal foul, and Buffalo will pass it in. McMillan works it into McAdoo. Gets it back again, does McMillan. And he tries to get away from the Busher. He fakes, he shoots, it is no good, and the whistle blows again. And an elbowing foul, offensive foul on McAdoo. That's his third personal foul. McAdoo with an offensive foul, throwing an elbow underneath. So the Knicks have the ball and the lead, and the clock shows 2:20. Frazier comes down into forecourt, gets the ball to the Busher on the right-hand side. McAdoo missed him. Cunit picks him up. Back it goes to Frazier. Underneath, intended for Manager. Manager broke the wrong way. The ball goes out of bounds. Buffalo's ball. 2:12. Knicks lead 93-82. The 11-point lead, the widest by any team, either team in the ball game tonight. Here comes Ernie D. Gregorio down the left side with it. He's played nearly every minute of this game. Whips it all the way across court to McMillan. McMillan back to Cunit underneath. He goes up against Jackson and scores. 2 minutes. Just been announced. 2 minutes left to go in the game. Kevin Cunit gets his first 2 points. Knicks lead by 9, 93-84. Knicks have the ball. Manager. Knicks slowing play down, letting the clock tick off. Now Manager drives underneath. His shot is blocked by Cunit. Cunit hits the deck. The shot was blocked and picked off by Randy Smith. Smith now double teamed. He gets away from both Knick guards. Gets the ball to Cunit. He takes a long shot. In and out, no good. And Jackson rebounds. Bill Jackson rebounds, gives the ball to Manager. A minute and a half left to go. The Knicks leading by 9. And now Frazier down in the forecourt with it. Frazier slowing play down. Clock ticking off. 12 seconds on the shooting clock. Bradley with the ball. Knicks will use up all the time they can. Get the ball to DeBusschere. DeBusschere starts to move now. Gives it back to Frazier. Frazier shoots from 20 feet and hits from the right-hand side. 95-84. Just over a minute left to go. The Knicks appear to have this one safely locked away. Down comes Ernie D with it. Cunit sets up a pick. Ernie D drives around the pick. Goes up with a shot. It is no good. Tap underneath is no good by Cunit. The whistle blows.
Loose ball foul.
Loose ball foul.
Kevin Cunit.
Charged to Kevin Cunit. His first personal foul.
First foul in the last 2 minutes.
And that is the Braves' first foul in the last 2 minutes. Ramsey screaming again at Lee Jones. They are not the best of friends at the moment. All right, the ball is inbounded to Frazier. Frazier back to Manager. Manager spins the ball down into forecourt. Clock ticking away. Less than a minute. 50 seconds left to go. The Knicks have it in the bank. Frazier works the ball now to DeBusschere back outside of Bradley. Bradley drives. He shoots. It is no good. And he is fouled. Bill Bradley will go to the line. He was fouled by Bob McAdoo. Frazier over the limit. And here comes Hawthorne Wingo in for the New York Knicks. Wingo will replace DeBusschere. DeBusschere has seen his last action for the night. 42 seconds left to go. There's a big ad for Davey DeBusschere as he comes out, and Hawthorne Wingo comes in. Bradley at the line, eyes the basket. He shoots. It is good. Bill Bradley hits on the first one. He now has 21 points. Frazier's high man. Bradley can tie him right now if he makes this one. Each of them has 22 points. As Bradley cashes both free throws, the Knicks lead 97-84. 40 seconds. Here comes Randy Smith. He goes down. He shoots it. It's no good as Bradley rebounds for New York. Bradley will dribble the ball down court himself. 30 seconds left to go. Now he passes down to Hawthorne Wingo in the left-hand corner. Cunit guarding Wingo. Wingo doesn't shoot. Passes back outside to Bradley. Knicks just eating up clock. There it is to Meminger. 20 seconds left to go. Meminger dribbling around. DiGregorio with him, trying to get the ball away. Pass it on the right side of Wingo. He shoots. It is no good. Rebound, Bob McAdoo. McAdoo down to Randy Smith, 9 seconds. Smith takes the shot for Buffalo. It's good. 97-86. As 6 seconds show on the clock. And 5 seconds. The countdown. 3 seconds. The Knicks have won the ball game as Bradley dribbles the ball toward the dressing room. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. The ball game is over. The final score, the New York Knickerbockers 97 and the Buffalo Braves 86. More Knicks basketball in just 60 seconds.
Mr. Businessman, have you a story to tell? Then do it on Wavy Old Gold.
Do it on the matchbook, do it on the Late Late Show. But if you want to do it good, do it like you should. Do it on the radio.
Get the facts on how your advertising dollar goes further on radio, and especially on WABY. Call Ted, Stan, or Jim any day from 9 to 5 at 459-2111. That's 459-2111.
On a napkin, do it on a billboard, any type of print or clothes. If you gotta get it sent with your advertising friend, do it on the radio. Yeah, reach more people for a lot less dough. When you do it on the radio. WABY.
Here's how the game went. The Knickerbockers trailed 26-21 at the end of the first quarter. Knicks scored 30 points in the second quarter, holding Buffalo's to 22, and New York led 51-48 at the end of the first half. In the third quarter, the Knicks got 24 points, Buffalo 23. New York led 75-71 at the end of 3 periods. But a tremendous defensive performance by the Knicks in the fourth quarter, holding Buffalo to 15 points. 15 points, going on to get 22 themselves and winning the game 97-86. Bill Bradley had 22 points, his best performance of the year so far. Frazier had 22 to just about equal his output. Wingo had 2 points. DeBusschere had 9 points. Ginelli had 7 points. Jackson 18. Meminger 17. And of course, DeBusschere with his 9 points had 16 rebounds. A real good night for Dave. For Buffalo, McMillan had 12 points, Hurd 2 points, Kaufman 14. McAdoo, who's been averaging 28, was held to 23. He was the high scorer, they'll win the game. Cunit had 2 points, DiGregorio had 12 points, Randy Smith, a fine performer with 21 points, and Ken Charles failed to score. Our next game is Saturday night when the Knicks play the Milwaukee Bucks. Airtime is 8 p.m. You won't want to miss it. The final score again, the New York Knickerbockers 97, the Buffalo Braves 86. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Schaefer, the one beer to have.